Good afternoon, students, and welcome back to our last session for today. The topic is National Education Policy. The speaker is a fraternity of GEC. Since you being first year student, I'll introduce the speaker. Those who are seniors will not have any introduction of our speaker for this session. So, Dr.V.N.Shet, he has been the ex-principal of our institute for a period of 5 years from 2014 to 2018. Currently, he is the Dean of Engineering courses at Goa University, and he is a professor in Electrical Department. He has also served as Head of Department of Electrical Engineering. Those students who are from Electrical Engineering, you will be able to learn from him a lot about your discipline. Sir has studied from IIT Mumbai, and so he did his M.Tech as well as PhD from the same institute. Specializes in power electronics. Sir has served on bodies like the National Board of Accreditation process, that is the accreditation process for colleges like ours. He has worked many times on these committees, as well as the NAC accreditation process. He has been also the chairman of GCET for several years, since 2010. So the exam through which you have been able to make it here to this college. Sir is a recognized guide. He is a recognized PhD guide at our institute, and he has several publications totaling around 60 international as well as national, and he has 2 patents to his credit. With this illustrious career at his hand and academic experience, I present before you Professor V.N.Shet. He will speak to you about NEP. You must have heard about this many times in press about NEP. So today sir will speak to you and share with you about what is the vision of the government for you as far as higher education is concerned. So I welcome you, sir, for this session. Kindly take over.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. So this will be the nice occasion. Yeah, good afternoon once again, everybody. So it is a great pleasure to speaking all of you, and first and foremost I should welcome to all you for as a GEC fraternity. And Goa Engineering College, it is a proud moment for you also, because it has completed more than 50 years and celebrated its golden jubilee. And this year we could not personally individually speak to each and everybody, but on this occasion, let us discuss various aspects. You must have heard National Education Policy, which has been recently announced in 2020. Of course, a draft has been announced in 2019, and then final report has come in the 2020. What is the National Education Policy? The National Education Policy speaks about the need and requirement for all the levels, starting from the primary education up to PhD. And here today, I will not go discussing about the primary and secondary education, but I will focus more on the higher education. Higher education. One. Visibility. Visibility. क्या है दोस्त लैपटॉप दोस्त okay, sorry for interruption, and we'll begin. See, basically what is happens that we need to look into the whole aspects in terms of higher education. I already mentioned I am not going to discuss on the primary, secondary education because you have already completed. Now we need to look into the various aspects regarding the higher education. You have been already in the state of the higher education, learning and learning in terms of the best possible education. Let us look into the vision of the policy. What the vision it says, the education system should be rooted to the Indian ethos that contribute for the directly transforming India, that is Bharat. It should be sustainable by into equitable and vibrant knowledge and with high quality of education to all. So remember that the way each and every wording has been done, which will be helpful to understand the what is government, that is future education should be. So the curriculum, so more focus is given on the curriculum. What about the curriculum? The curriculum and pedagogy of our institutions must develop a deep sense of respect toward the fundamental duties. Remember that as a citizens, we normally forget what is our fundamental duties. So we need to know that our fundamental duties first. Then subsequently we should make the aware of the need for the future. So the curriculum and pedagogy of institution must develop a deep sense of respect toward the fundamental duties and constitutional values. Remember that constitutional, because the whole rights and is given by this constitution. So we should know about the need, that is how to follow the constitutional as per the each chapter defined in the constitution. So bonding with other one, and a conscious awareness of one's roles and responsibility. Remember that. So ultimately we know what is our roles and responsibility. Then the vision also speaks about the deep-rooted pride. Being Indian, we have to be proud about being Indian. That is one of the main requirements. See, every countryman should be proud of their country. So this is what we have to, every time we have to say that I am proud of being Indian, I am proud of being a country of nations, Bharat. So it is, you should have your own spirit and intellectual, and develop a knowledge and skills, values which will be support the responsible commitment to human rights. See, human rights is one of the major issue. What do you mean by human rights? See, a kindness, the kindness which we are showing toward the other is a human rights. And ethically and morally, we should be ensure that a deep sense of human values has to come into our activities. So that should be a proper and sustainable living. What do you mean by proper and sustainable living? That means everybody should have an equitable distribution. Everyone should have a need of the hour, and then finally it should reflect that should be a truly global citizen. See, ultimately that can be possible only by means of a education. So education will ensure that the need of the proper systematic requirement. Now, ultimately what is our goal now? Our ultimate goal is that it starts from the primary, secondary education, and then comes to the higher education. So, because here in this case 12th onwards, because any education which has been received after the 12th is said to be higher education. Now how should be the higher education? Higher education should be flexible so that learners have the ability to choose their learning and their programs, and thereby he can decide his own path and as per his interest. Remember that. See, whenever you join for engineering, you should come with the interest, whether you join for a medicine You join for arts, you join for any type of the education system, but once you join, you should show equal interest. Similarly, you have here the new education policy will ensure that there is a lot of opportunity and scope so that you can select your own path, own destiny. No hard separation, there is no hard separation between arts and science. There is no separation between the arts and science. Between curricular and extracurricular, because lot of opportunity has been given to the curricular and extracurricular. So there is a more focus on the vocational courses, because earlier there is no demand and no focus on the vocational courses. Now they want to make that vocational courses and academic, it will be implemented and embedded with the academic system. So in order to eliminate harmful hierarchy among the different area of learning, So this is one of the major focus. In the focus, it's talk about what is the need and requirement, and finally the education system, it gives a lot of opportunity for the individual, that is students, to choose the stream of his liking. Now coming to the teachers. For every educational institution, the backbone of the system is the teachers. Teachers and faculty as the heart of the learning, and their recruitment, continuous professional development and positive working environment is very much essential. See, what I am saying is that, the institution should recruit a capable and capable faculty who has love toward the teaching and will ensure that extra care will be taken for the students' requirement. Now, further is that as far as the syllabus is concerned, a light but tight regulatory. See, you have got that because whole system has to work. Curriculum is there, then the system has to adopt it. So a light but tight regulatory framework to ensure integrity, transparency and resource efficiency of the institution. See, this is not about the students, but this is about the institution. And so that is, they want to improve the efficiency of the educational system through audit and public disclosure. See, what the requirement is that it is not that there will be a regulatory system. The regulatory system should not want to make a policing. They want that self-declaration. In the sense, self-declaration will ensure that there is a continuous update, the continuous informative, and that will be available for the public. So normally there is always the innovation. The system of the learning should have an innovation and out of box idea should be. And there should be good autonomy. You know what is the autonomy? Autonomy is the system where the teachers have the freedom to decide what is the syllabus content, and it is not the university is going to decide, but it is a group of teachers who understand the need and requirement of the society and the present scenario, and the syllabus has been framed as per that. And there should be a good governance. There should be a good governance. What do you mean by good governance? Good governance means the all facility, imparting and good empowerment. Now, higher education should also focus on the outstanding research. What do you mean by outstanding research? See, educational institution normally make the first priority is a teaching. Apart from the teaching, there should be a proper research. Research means they should come up with a finding, new product, new development, and that will make a life of the citizen will be more easier. To make it happen, so that should be institute should focus on a certain amount of the research. So outstanding research, because ultimately it is not only publishing, but it has to become a product. So that is the reason outstanding research as a core requisite for the outstanding education and development. Then there need to be a continuous review of progress. There need to be continuous review of the progress based on the sustained research and regular assessment of educational policy. See, remember that it is not a one-time activity. Educational institutions are going to be there for hundreds, thousands of years. And normally you can see that the educational institution because what is ultimately the product of the educational institution? It is the students. It is the capacity and capability of the students they created, and the name and fame which has been put by the students will be very important. So ultimately, the whole educational institution will be proud of their alumni who bring a name and fame for themselves as for their alma mater. So there need to be proper progress, because there should be a review of progress and sustained research and regular assessment. Now what will be done? There is something called a single stream higher educational institution. What do you mean by single stream higher education? The single stream higher education means, so in the educational institution, right now you have got an arts college, you have got science college, you have got commerce college, you have got engineering, you have got medical, all are single stream. But future is entirely different. So science and commerce may be taught in the engineering college also. There may be possibility of the other discipline like pharmacy college and medical college may run in one by one. So there is no separation between, because many disciplines, even management, we have already seen that management, some of the courses which can be combined, and then the utility of the capability of the each faculty can be utilized. So single stream HIE will be phased out in the over time. Remember that, not tomorrow itself it will be phased out. It has to be. The phasing out means it may take, depend upon the 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the line. So depend upon the time it is required, depend upon the relocation and recombining of the institution. Normally a relocate, because they will be phased out and will move towards becoming a vibrant multidisciplinary institutions. So it becomes a vibrant multidisciplinary. And see, multidisciplinary is one of the area which has been focused. What do you mean by multidisciplinary? The two or more discipline comes together and formulate and will ensure that utility will be done for the research purpose or to bring up the findings. For example, simple example, in a medical, see, all the equipment for the medical professional are being designed by the engineers. But what is the need and requirement for of the medical profession has to be understood by the engineers, and they have to discuss and then finally come up with the products. So that is a multidisciplinary task. So now, instead of running a single institutions like science college and arts college, now it will be multidisciplinary. Engineering college may offer MSc or BSc courses, and your management courses and commerce college will have a common platform. So hence, much of the institution will be working toward the multidisciplinary approach. Now, another system which is going to be the presently, all the institutions are affiliated to the university. The system of affiliated university will be gradually phased out, maybe over the 15 years, through a system of graded autonomy and carried out in the challenging mode. See, what do you mean by graded autonomy? I have already mentioned autonomy means freedom. The freedom will be given depending upon your capability. Now you may ask, what do you mean by capability? The institution should have a good ranking. The rank, who will give the ranking? Once again, ranking is given by the ranking agency that depends upon accrediting agency like National Board of Accreditation, or it may be given by NAC, National Accreditation and Assessment Council. So these are the two agencies. So this accrediting agency will grade you. They will grade maybe percentile grade, or they will grade A, B, C. So depending upon the grade which you have obtained, once again the grade is given by the independent body. institution or government or management has no role to decide what should be the grading. So hence the system of affiliation will be and we will be moving towards what is called a graded autonomy. And once the graded autonomy, normally even the institution by itself will be awarding the degree. So the degree will not be awarded by the university. For example, Goa Engineering College, one of the leading institutions in the state of Goa, and presently we are also going for the accreditation process through NBA, that is National Board of Accreditation. Once the accreditation process is over, based on the grading which is obtained, the institution has to go for the autonomy, maybe next 5 years, 10 years down the line. So once the autonomy, the graded autonomy will be given. This will give a focus on the institution to decide their own syllabus. Own syllabus does not mean that it is very precise, but it has to be as per the market demand. With the various focus on the need and requirement, and such a syllabus, curriculum can be frequently changed. It is not that once you prepare your curriculum, you have to wait for next 4 to 5 years. So curriculum can be entirely at the hands of the institution, and the faculty has to focus on the how to improvise it. So the institution by itself will be awarding the degree in the form of now how IITs and NITs will be awarding their own degrees. So that will be one of the phase which will be worked out. The overall higher education sector will aim for integrated higher education system, including professional and vocational. So the present complex nomenclature, see, you must have heard, of course, whether you have heard or not, but still you can just see, someone will say that there is deemed to be university. There are affiliating university, and then affiliating technical university, and unitary university, and then university. So there are number of naming. For example, Goa University is a state university. There are central university. The difference between the state university and the central university is, it is basically all comes under the UGC, but it is basically state government who will look after the financial requirement. But central university, normally central government will be directly funding the requirement, like whatever the fund requirement. So here in this case, other universities, some of the university you normally call it deemed to be university. For example, VIT. VIT is a state university in Belgaum. The VIT is said to be deemed to be university. What is deemed to be university is that they have a limited, because they are not state funded, they are being funded by the private management. Now in future, all the nomenclature will be taken away. So they will be made as only university, and everybody has to follow the single criteria. They have to follow the single criteria. Now, the next focus will be on the multidisciplinary. What do you mean by multidisciplinary? Multidisciplinary is a holistic multidisciplinary education which aims to develop all capacities of human, being intellectual, aesthetic, social, physical, emotional, and moral, and integrated manner. Remember that what is the role of multidisciplinary is that, see, you cannot work in the same manner in all the cases. If it has to come as a product, there is knowledge and authority of each individual should come out. So that is what, there is more focus on a multidisciplinary area. Now, so this education, that is multidisciplinary education, in the long term, all undergraduate programs, including the professional education, will be multidisciplinary area. Now even engineering institutions like IITs will move toward the holistic multidisciplinary education with more on arts, humanity, and students of art and humanity will also learn more about the science and will make an effort to incorporate more occasional subject in the soft skill. So this is the focus, because the focus is not that only single stream, focus is the multi-stream, and then it has to come with the your multidisciplinary area. And for example, those who are not aware, even this multidisciplinary approach, which has been already present in the IIT Bombay. In IIT Bombay, we have seen MSc degree is awarded by IIT Bombay, because MSc in physics, MSc in the chemistry. But normally MSc is awarded by the most of the universities. But multidisciplinary culture was being brought earlier, and they were finding that there is lot of useful and good, capable students are been coming out in a multidisciplinary area. Now, what about the curriculum? So here it should be a flexible curriculum which enable a creativity. See, remember that a flexible curriculum has already been implemented along with you. You are been one of the first batch under the Goa University who have been adopting the AICT syllabus, new AICT syllabus. And under the new AICT syllabus, more focus has been once again given for the creativity. And today's induction program is a part of the creativity required. And you have to undergo more moral and ethical values. And see, it is not that we are going back to the Gurukula system, but we have to just adopt the good thing which has been adopted in the Gurukula system. Like, you should know that whenever at the age of learning, you have to focus only on the learning. And second thing is that the government is also giving more focus on the language, that is Sanskrit, because they want that Sanskrit is embedded in all the disciplines. And this may becomes, maybe after some year, it may becomes a universal language. It may become a universal language. And my request and the appeal, if you are having some knowledge on Sanskrit, please share with your fellow friends. And those who are not aware, please try to understand some of the, because future coding may also becomes using Sanskrit. It is not English, because it is going to be the worldwide language. So that is where the focus will be going to be. So please, you ensure that although it is one of the ancient language, but this language is going to be future of the world arena. So the curriculum will be simple and which will be offered with multiple entry and exit point. This is one of the good factors. What do you mean by multiple entry and exit? See, it gives the students an opportunity to enter anytime and exit in. That means suppose you are interested to do out of 4 years, you can complete your 2 years study, and then you want to take a break, you can take a break, and after 1 or 2 years, once again you can come back and complete your remaining 2 years. So this is what we call as a multiple entry, multiple exit. Not that once you join an engineering, within 8 years you have to complete. There is a lot of freedom. You can complete part by in the compartment, part by part. Of course, there is some guidelines which will has to be university and the institution will give, but there is a more focus, more possibility, and more freedom for the students, depend upon your liking. And because sometimes what happens that many students after 2 years they find that the discipline which will be studying is not interesting, he want to focus in other area, but then he may leave the study and go for his focus area. After 2-3 years he has more inclination to understand and come back, want to complete his degree. So this is possible under the new multiple exit entry and multiple exit point. Now there is a lot of focus on the languages, literature, music, philosophy, then art, dance, theatre, education, mathematics, statistics, pure and applied science, sociology, economics, sports, translation, interpretation, and then it will be established and strengthened in all the institutions. Remember that earlier it is only limited to certain educational institutions. Now all this multidisciplinary will be strengthened in all higher educations. Then we have already seen that the curricula will be such that include courses, credit based courses. Now already you are also having a credit based courses. The credit means suppose one subject will be 3 credit, and this credit can be earned from the same institution from or outside or from the online courses. And once the credit which you earned will be deposited in the credit bank, digitally it will be stored in the credit bank. So now credit based courses and projects in the area of the community and engagement and service and environmental education and value based education will be more focused, because your curriculum should be such that you will be going to the village, you are going to the field and really understanding the difficulty, helping them, and then come up with a solution. So that is a more focused area in the new education system. The undergraduate degree, how the undergraduate degree will be? In the future the degree will be of 3 years or 4 years duration, with multiple exit points within this period. I have already mentioned what you mean by multiple exit point. That means if you want, after 1 year you can go back, do your own work, then come back after 1 or 2 years and then try to complete. So multiple exit points within this period with appropriate certificate. Remember that now depend upon the joining and other things, nobody will be go without any award of certificates. Suppose if you have done successfully and completed 1 year, you will get a certificate. You will get a certificate in a discipline. That may be in the field of vocation or in a professional area. Suppose you have completed 2 years study, then you will be get a diploma. You will be said that you have completed diploma of science, diploma of, so you will be awarded diploma degree, diploma. If you complete 3 years, you will be given a bachelor's degree. And if you complete 4 years, that is the 4-year multidisciplinary bachelor degree, and which will be with the option, which will be, what is the purpose of this 4-year degree? 4-year degree is basically with the focus that you want to go for higher studies and your focus is on the research. In that case, one can go for the 4 years multidisciplinary study. As I have already mentioned, there is one more term that is called academic bank of credit. Academic bank of credit. So which will be established and we will digitally store your academic credits. Will digitally store your academic credit, which is earned during your entire career, and based on that, the educational institution will take note of this credit and they award you appropriate degrees. Award you appropriate degrees. Now one more, you remember that, of course, in future even our educational institution will also go in this model, but wherever that autonomous institution, they can go for 1 semester outside country or other than their educational institution, earn credits. Earn credits means you can undergo the course in that institution jointly with the mutual understanding between the institution to institution, and earn the credit, and whatever the credit you have earned will be recognized as the credit earned by this institution. So you must have seen some of the autonomous institution in the neighboring state. Normally they can go for 6 months, maybe abroad or other education institution of your liking, and there you can undergo the study of the subject relevant to your course and sorry, and then you can able to because your focus can be also. So what is the benefit? The benefit is that you can understand the culture of each educational institution. The culture, what do you mean by culture once again? So it is not only teaching, it is how the bonding. It is very important part of the teaching and learning is the bonding also. So you can understand the bonding, relationship, and then mixing and leadership. All the quality will be understand from the various education institutions. So please, this also one of the focus which will be coming in the future. Then 4-year program can also leads to what is called a with research. Sometimes the degree which will be given with the 4 years also said to be degree with research, and there will be a rigorous research project which will be a major or minor, and then you will be given, because this will be very much essential if the focus is on the study and the requirement for the future research. Now, what is the next one? They are coming with what is called a model public universities. They are coming with the model public universities. This university is basically holistic multidisciplinary universities. They will be at par with IITs and IIM, and they are called MERU, that is Multidisciplinary Education and Research University. And they will be, see, government has a big plan, so they will set up to attain the highest global standard in the education system with higher, good quality education. Now, this higher education also focus on research and innovation. There is a lot of, because I think before this you have heard on the startup, there is a lot of focus on the setting of the startup incubation centers, technology development center, center of frontier areas of research, and greater industry institute linkage, and then interdisciplinary research including humanities and social science. The research does not limit it to only engineering, or so research will be in all the field of area. And see, that is what is the aim of this one. Ultimate aim and will be that every engineers, every product which is coming up should be, that is, you should not be because you are looking for the employment, but you are employment creators. You yourself has to become an employment creator by your own startup, incubation center, technology development center, in all the manner which can help. Now, what should be the learning environment and support for the students? So, institutions and faculty will have a autonomy. I have already discussed in length about the autonomy, and to innovate you on matters of curriculum. See, when the curriculum comes, that is the important part. Curriculum means what where syllabus is framed. The syllabus which is framed by the institution should take care of the local requirement. It should take care of the future industrial and the future adaptation which is coming. See, now the moment the COVID came, everybody has started research. And because the number of ventilators which are available in India was very few, and most of them have been imported. But now India has developed its capability depending upon the need and requirement. India at the half the cost which was been imported, India has been manufacturing and of the highest standard. So now usually everybody should be prepared for the eventuality of, that is, you have to just forecast the need and requirement of the country and universe for the next 10-20 years, and accordingly the institution and faculty should have autonomy, and they should decide your curriculum syllabus should be innovative in the curriculum. A proper pedagogy, that is teaching, the method of the teaching is very much liking. Teaching cannot be only just blackboard teaching. It has to be more innovative. What do you mean by more innovative? Maybe you have to go to the field, you have to understand the real problem, more industrial visit, more number of programs which will be you are come across, and even you have to go to the rural area and understand their problems. So the teaching pedagogy also, maybe online teaching, offline teaching, that a pictorial way, all this has to be adopted so that the learning becomes more interesting and adaptable. And assessment within the broad framework of the higher education, because assessment is very important. Assessment is not just only one examination. See, assessment in all manner. He should be a leader, a good person who can just vocabulary, all the characters has to be verified. So hence there should be more focus, not only just a single type of examination. Examination framework also is going to change. Now, so assessment system should be decided by the higher education, which include those that lead to the final certification. Now you have got a choice-based credit system, and it is going to be innovation and flexibility. Now, so when the higher education should also move into criteria-based grading that assess the student's achievement based on the learning goals. Because now you must have heard that is the outcome-based education. What is the outcome-based education? Ultimately, whatever you learn, that should lead into the knowledge. Because it is not only just learning. Learning should be reflected as a knowledge. The knowledge is dependent upon what is the ultimate goal and satisfaction of the requirement of the country. So hence, one has to be more focused with the objective-based learning, and then focused, and then practical aspects. And even the new education policy thinks that more focus will be on the practical. The higher education also institution will have an examination toward the more continuous and comprehensive evaluation. See, you must have seen what you mean by comprehensive and continuous evaluation. See, now we are conducting your internal test. Internal test is a part of the continuous and comprehensive system. Because here in this case, instead of conducting the examination at the end of the one semester, now it will be conducted that you will be conducting IT1, IT2 and then IT3 depending upon the need and requirement. So this IT1 and IT is basically to find your knowledge for a certain period. That is a part of which is said to be continuous and comprehensive. Now more focus will be given on continuous and comprehensive. And the type of methodology of the examination also may change. It is not only writing. So the focus is going to be in all-round development. So each educational institution will develop their own institutional development plan. That means suppose we want to look out for what is the need for the next future generation. That means GEC will sit and decide what is the plan for next 10 years, next 10 and 20 years, next 30 years. So the focus will be given on what are the improvements we need to do in the over the next 20, 30 years. So one of the major focus will be high quality support centers for professional academic and career counseling. Basically, everybody should need a professional academic and career counseling is required, because what is the future? What you need to do after your education? What are the avenues and opportunities available in the educational system? And whether you have to go for higher research, whether you have to go for higher studies, or you have to go for the job and industry, or you start your own startup or your own professional requirement. So this all has to be by interest and as per the discussion with the career counseling. Now there will be once again the norms and standards for the guidelines, because there will be proper norms will be set, standards, guidelines for the systematic development of and regulation, and even accreditation of open distance learning, because you must have heard open university. Right now, one of the leading open universities is Indira Gandhi Open University, and it is maintaining very good high standard. But there are many other university educational institutions which have been come up, but not of the desired standard. So what is the standard? So the standardization will be done by the special accrediting agency. Even there is open distance learning, that is ODL. Even such institutions will be also accredited. Now we will come to the internationalization. What is the internationalization? See, you must have seen most of the students from India are interested to do their higher studies from other educational institutions from abroad. But now it may be desired that the trend has to be reversed. In the sense, we have to develop very large university of the higher quality and standard and a leading educational institution such that the students from other countries will come to India for their higher educations. So that is the focus on the internationalization. Larger number of international students studying in India and greater mobility of students in India visit, study at and transfer credit or carry out research at institution at abroad and vice versa. So that means even there is even Goa Engineering College also focusing on that MTech students can go abroad, do their 6 months project and then come back and their credit transfer can be done. Similarly for their PhD also they can go to the within the India or abroad. But this has to become reality because there is much of the issues, but maybe with national education policy such a dream will come true immediately. So India will be promoted as a global study destination with providing premier educational institution with affordable cost. Now, see, there will be coordinated effort. See, it is not that only you just start and then there should be a coordinated effort by the government with the foreign institutions relating to welcoming and supporting the students arriving from the abroad. Similarly, research and teaching collaboration and faculty-student exchange and high-quality foreign institution will be facilitated. What is the meaning of this one? That means, as I just mentioned, teachers can go any institution abroad or any institution within the country for a 6 months, 3 months or as per the convenience, and they will start teaching there, guiding the students. And similarly, the faculty from other institution can come to our institution. They will be staying here for 3 to 6 months and guiding and teaching our students. So there will be a good collaboration between both the educational institution, exchange of ideas and a common development on the working on the single area. So this all can be started in the new policy. So the high performing Indian university will be encouraged to set up campuses in other countries. For example, right now foreign universities are establishing their campus in India. Similarly, Indian university of high standard can establish their campus in other countries also. You must have already known BITS Pilani has their campus in Dubai. In the same manner, so there is a possibility that Indian university of the higher standard will be establishing their campuses in other countries, and other country will start their own university in the Indian soil. So there is similarly selected university, that is those from above top 100 university in the world will be facilitated to operate in India. Now, as per the student activities, you will be very happy. The students will be plenty of opportunity for participation in sports, culture, arts club, eco club, activity clubs, community service and various projects. So there will be more focus. It is not that only just part of your, all activity will be given a focused approach. That means specific time will be kept and you have to focus on the sports, culture, arts club, eco club, photography, whatever the nature club. So the many activities can be taken up as per the requirement. So there is more focus will be on the extracurricular, requirement for the students. The more focus, that means every education institution there will be counseling system for handling stress and demotion and adjustment. I think many students, the moment you immediately enter from your 12th to engineering, there is sometimes they will be undergo lot of stress. The lot of stress will come because of the entirely different type of the subjects. Because earlier you were studying only physics, chemistry, mathematics, but now it is diversified. And the diversification of the subject will ensure that always you feel the stress, how to overcome. But in order to help, there is a counseling system. Even our institution also have the counseling system. Similar counseling system will be adopted in all over country, so that everybody will be guided to overcome stress and demotion. Remember that the stress is not only for students, stress is for every walk of life. Even big industries, they also have their own counseling system, because even there is a number of target. In order to overcome the stress, they have got a counseling, and then they will be adopting the methodology to overcome the stress. Now, increasing hostel facility is needed, because more focus will be given to create the hostel facility, because students need to travel from one destination to other destination, and the best effort will be by staying in the hostel, and lot of more freedom, because you can see that the larger institutions like IIT, NITs, they have got independent their own hostel, and they have got a lot of focus, and the time is available for all other activities like sports, co-curricular activities, cultural activities, and apart from doing the day-to-day studies. So all higher education will ensure quality medical facilities for all of their students in the institution. The medical facility is one of the major focus, major requirement, and even you must have seen we have got also a medical center where doctor is available and you can consult. But this facility will be, see, this will be the facility which will be created all over educational institution. Now coming to the financial support, because the economically weaker and other students need to be provided with the proper financial support. So government will make effort to say incentive for the merit-based students belong to SC, ST, OBC and other category. So private institutions will be encouraged to offer large number of free scholarship to their students. So now finally the motivated and energized capable faculty. See, ultimately the whole educational institution surrounded around the faculty. Faculty is a key member, and all higher education needs to be equipped with the basic infrastructure and facilities, including drinking water, clean working toilets, blackboards, office, teaching supplies, library, laboratories, pleasant classrooms, space and campuses. See, it is not only for higher education, means all educational institutions, because higher education, whenever we are talking about the all institution after the 12th. Every classroom will have access to the latest educational technology and better learning experience. Faculty will be given freedom for the design their own curriculum, pedagogy for the pedagogical approach within the approved framework. So there will be independent and transparent process for the recruitment of faculty. See, remember that what you mean independent, there will be a separate body which will take care of the recruitment of the faculty. High caliber faculty will be recruitment as per the recruitment rules existing. So finally, I will take 2-3 minutes so that we will just come to the conclusion. So professional education. So coming to the professional education, like standalone agriculture university, legal university, health science university, technical university and standalone institutions of other fields shall aim to become multidisciplinary institutions. As I have already mentioned, the presently now agriculture university has to become a multidisciplinary university. Similarly, all medical colleges, health science university, then technical university, all will become multidisciplinary in higher educational institutions. So all institutions offering either professional or general education will aim to organically evolve into institution or clusters offering both seamlessly and in an integrated manner by 2030. So So because now it may happen that two educational institutions will be combined and jointly operating, and then they will be offering number of courses. Both capacity and quality of the agriculture and allied discipline will be improved, so that increase the agriculture productivity in India, have a better skilled graduates, technicians, innovative research in agriculture, and market-based extension linked to the technology and practice. So in agriculture institution also shall benefit the local community. See, ultimately, because India is a country of agriculturists, and there is a need for the benefit has to be passed on to the local community. That means agriculturists. And for that purpose, agriculture institutions must benefit the local community directly. And then there is the creation of the agricultural technological park to promote the technology incubation and dissemination and promote the sustainable methodology. So similarly for the legal education. So legal education should be made competitive and globally, and adopt the best practices, embracing the new technology for wider access and timely delivery of justice. Then health education is one of the major focus, so that the duration, structure and the design of educational program need to match the role and requirement of the graduates. So here in this case, the outcoming graduate from the healthcare must be integrative, meaning thereby all the students of allopathy medical education must have a basic understanding of Ayurveda, yoga, naturotherapy, Unani, Siddha, homeopathy and vice versa. Because the present system is allopathic doctor is not aware what is the system working in the Ayurveda as well as naturotherapy, but now they wanted that every professional should know certain knowledge. It is not that they are complete, but there is a certain knowledge of each discipline, so that they will be understanding each other's area of the dissemination. So there shall be much greater emphasis on the preventive healthcare and community medicine in all forms of health education. Now technical education will also aim to be offered within the multidisciplinary education institution and programs, and have a renewed focus on the opportunity to engage deeply with other disciplines. So finally, India must have a lead in preparing the professionals in the cutting edge area, like which are gaining more prominence, such as artificial intelligence, 3D machining, big data analysis, machine learning, in addition to genomics studies, biotechnology, nanotechnology, neuroscience, with importance in applications in health, environmental and sustainable living, and that will be understood with the undergraduate education and enhancing the employability of the youth. Now, sustainable living is one of the major focus. What do you mean by sustainable? Because so every human being should have a proper living conditions. That means a good food and better living. So that has to come by proper earning, and equally there should be a proper health facility also. So last one is that there is a lot of opportunity for the focus on our Indian languages, and languages like basically all the languages will be given important. As I have already mentioned, the languages to remain relevant and vibrant, there must be steady stream of high quality learning and print material of these languages, textbooks, and more, as I have mentioned, that the focus will be on 3 language formula, because you have already seen that the present education system will be 3 language formula, that will be continuous, and there is more focus on the multi-language, and teaching focus will be on the home or local language. That will be a major focus. So finally they will be have a aim that Sanskrit and all Indian language institutions and different and department across the country will be significantly strengthened. And there is also focus for the classical languages, and government is ultimately want to come with the new, that is national education policy, with a more focus on the various discipline, the public engagement, and then utility, and thereby our the future generation, the students are ready to adopt any type of the requirement. And similarly there is more focus on the skill development. There is more focus on the, of course I am not touched on the skill development. Skill development is one of the major area and the thrust, integrating along with the vocational subject. So I think we are almost ending with the time, and if the time available next time, once again we will discuss more on the various other topics. So I am thankful to for your patience hearing, and this is one issue, because whatever the new you should be aware of what is the national education policy which has come in 2020. These are the some of the area which related to you, directly related to you, and it will be helpful to bringing up the best citizen, and our educational institution becomes a worldwide recognized institutions, and our type of the research and activity will be of the high standard, and at the same time our the type of the faculty will be of high caliber, and who will mold the students as per the requirement with a better curriculum. Okay. Thank you.
I thank Professor Dr.V.N.Shet for putting in lot of efforts for putting forth the national education policy with regard to higher education before you. Students, I hope you appreciate the efforts put in by our own Professor P.N.Shet, because if we had to ask you to read the document, and then you would have had a lot of effort to put in from your side. So this is what you have got from our teacher. I hope you will keep these points in mind. Anytime if you want to preview again, you can do it so on our GEC YouTube channel. Kindly tell your friends also, because as we see, not many have logged in to watch it live. So all the sessions that we had today, I encourage you to tell your friends. When we start with the lectures also, we'll see if we can run part by part of those things for you. But these are this has been a great effort from the institute to bring forth before you the current issues that a student faces, especially with regard to the NEP. You are a most important stakeholder there, the student. NEP is for you more than anybody else. So once again, I thank Professor Shet for sparing his valuable time and putting in that much effort to put forth before us the highlights of this NEP with regard to higher education. So friends, we wind up today, and tomorrow again we meet at 10 o'clock. Thank you. The link will be shared on the respective group as we had done today for today's sessions. Thank you all again, once again.